YouTubers. I just wanted to do a quick review of the Telesine underwater dive case that I just picked up for my Insta 360 OneR. I wasn't going to get a dive case because I've got my old Sony AS15 with a dive case, and I was going to use that underwater. I wasn't going to take this underwater. Even though they say it's waterproof, I'm not taking this underwater. But I saw this online. It's a Telesine, and I saw this online for $19.50 US. And I thought, well, okay, for that price, I'll give it a go. I like Telesine. I bought some ND filters for my GoPro Hero Black 7 that I've since sold because I don't need it anymore. But I like the feel of the Telesine product for the, even though it's a cheaper product, it feels like it's well built. And the dive case feels the same. It feels like it's well built. It's rated for 45 meters, 130 feet. The camera seems to fit nicely in the case. You drop it in and clip it up, and it feels nice and snug. The last thing I should mention, it comes with these caps. It comes with these protective lens caps that that have little suction mounts, and when you're not using it, to protect the critical part of the case where your lens is. I don't know. Okay, they're sticking there, but sometimes they just kind of fall off, or like that one just fell off. So I don't think there's much else to say about it. Let's have a look at this underwater with the Insta 360 OneR. Okay, so for my money, this looks fine underwater. I'm not very deep here. It's noon, early July, noon on a sunny, bright day, and it looks fine. I'm not getting any lens flare, or to me this looks just fine. Underwater, when you put a camera underwater in a dive case, it seems to be the great equalizer. They all seem to look good underwater. That's my opinion anyway. The first test I did with this underwater was just down by a little river here in my neighborhood, and I just put the dive case about 6 inches underneath the water, and you can see there's a real problem there with a lens flare or whatever it is. You can see it's right around the edges. It almost looks like the water's pooling there or whatever, and catching the light. So that's not very professional. It's certainly not what you'd want to use for anything serious. But in the ocean, down about 2 feet, that was in the ocean, that other test, and I was about 2 feet under the water, and it looked fine. But just be careful. If you're real shallow, you could run into some problems, so be advised. I don't do a lot of action cam stuff where I mount it on the handlebars of a biker. I'm not into that. I don't do a lot of that kind of work. But I thought this would be handy to protect the lenses for $20 as opposed to buying the lens guards. I know they have the new sticky lens guards, but with shipping they seem to be kind of expensive. So I thought for $20, if I'm doing something where I'm a little bit worried about the camera, let's say I'm driving down a logging road, which I'll be doing, and I want to stick the camera up out of the car, to get that kind of a shot, I'll put this on to protect it from gravel, etc. Or another thing I plan on doing this year a lot of is going out on the salt water, and where there'll be salt sea spray. And I'll use this to protect it from the salt sea spray, but understanding that there will be some trade-offs. Okay, so I wanted to test this in bright sunlight. I wanted to see how much lens flare, and I'll compare it with and without the dive case. So here you can see the dive case is on. It's high noon. It's early July, and I'm just below the 50th parallel up here in Canada. And you can see there's lens flare on there, and it's not the greatest. So let's look at this in the same position, high noon, early July, without the dive case. And so you can see it looks a lot better. This is high noon. This is about, this is a real test. But it does look a lot better without the dive case on. So there will be a trade-off if I am going to use this in certain scenarios. And what I wanted to do before I finished was I wanted to try it in the shade. And so here it is with the lens, with the dive case on in the shade. And it looks a lot better in the shade. You don't have the lens flare. So I'm thinking that if you have a cloudy day, it's probably not going to look too bad. And here it is without the dive case in the shade. Let's have a look at that. So a little bit better, but with the dive case on in the shade, not too bad. Whenever you put anything in front of these lenses, there's always going to be a bit of a trade-off. For the most part, I think for $20, shipping included, it took about 3 weeks to get here, and I think I got lucky. It came from Hong Kong. It could take longer to get to you wherever you are. But for the price, I'm happy, and it's going to do what I want to do. And understanding the limitations when it's out of the water. If it's really sunny, I'm going to get some lens flare, and it's not going to be perfect. And also be careful in the shallow water. That looked really bad. That ring right around the lens, that wasn't good at all. But again, for $20, I think it's going to be really handy in my kit. So thanks for watching. Check out my other videos, video production, professional video production. I've been doing this since 1980, and there's tips and tricks there as well. And there's more videos on the Insta 360. Check those out. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.